You want to do it? Welcome, everybody. As we're just playing silly buggers along the way.
Yeah.
Welcome to the next page, episode 10. This is the last one for 2022.
Yes.
As we start to take a break and prep for the 2023 season. So, as always, the socials are over there in the chat and will be attached to the bottom of the video there. So if you want to come and join us on the show, please do so. Join the Discord, bounce on in, share your views and opinions. As always, our opinions are our own and not endorsed by anyone else. So luckily, because they probably wouldn't want to, they wouldn't back up.
I don't know why anyone would want to endorse us anyway. I mean, we're too opinionated.
But yeah, we've got some big plans for 2023, so stay tuned and make sure you follow the Twitter as well at SideNote Show. Give that a follow. A lot of information will be posted there throughout the off season and into the new year, so we'll start being a little bit more active on that. Well, what an interesting couple of weeks, Speed. We've seen some weird things pop up this week, haven't we?
I think we can all agree when we say that 2022 has been an absolute mess. Like there's nothing good has come from this year. Just like where do you start, really?
Well, I mean, we recap. Okay, so 2022, we kind of come out of the COVID phase and started to get back into some sort of normality. But then everything that's come from that point has been abnormal.
Yeah, it's like people get used to one thing, and then they don't like changing from that one thing. It's like,
right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, the world's changed. Has it? It's still the same. It's just you're being different about it.
Yeah,
yeah. You can still do the things that you could do.
But we've seen a lot of come and goes, haven't we, as well? We've seen a lot of things sort of start up and then die off and start up and die off and start up and die off. And people trying to tap into something that's sort of already there and not there, but trying to do it sort of their own way, but not being able to do it their own way.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, there's people doing a thing. That's an easy thing. I can do that thing. I can do that by myself. It'll be heaps better. I've got all these great ideas. And they start doing it, and then it falls on its face. Jeez, I wonder why. Because you've got no business knowledge.
I mean, take, for example, like, okay, we saw streaming platforms come and go this year. We saw startups happen, and then startups kind of fall away, and then we're tracking along with a social media for gamers that kind of started up and then it fell away, and it appears it might be making a comeback under a different name if it's the same people again. But again, like how much does it really take to get these things really pushing forward? I mean, we're looking at what now? It's 18 months. Just over 18 months that Glimish has been live.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Like these sites and these ideas and these concepts, they're brilliant ideas. Don't get me wrong, fantastic ideas. But just execution is just the problem. Like they just can't execute on this stuff.
That's it. Like you can have a million great ideas about how a platform should do things the right way, or a better way to do it, but you can't do it alone. And that's what these certain people are doing. They're doing it alone, and they think they're better than everyone else.
But well, I mean, we saw Luna. They had a good team, didn't they? And they had funding, and they still couldn't get off the ground. Like it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, there was Altair, obviously.
Sorry, Altair. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it was Altair. Yeah, so really good intentions. They had a team, but they had a very lacking knowledge of business ethics. So you can't just throw money at it and hope that it blossoms into something.
Yeah.
Microsoft. So you've actually got to do things smart. It's great to have ideas and and whatnot, but it's the execution of those ideas that really sort of make the difference. You know,
So in saying that though, with all these great ideas not getting off the ground, what would you say is a fair ground to sort of say after X time you're pretty much off the ground? You're actually now starting to be sustainable. Like how long would you say? I mean, like I said, we're already looking
uh,
at nearly 18 months, just over 18 months for Glimish now. Oh, sorry, it's probably
yeah,
20 months. But that's for Glimish. Like,
yeah.
can you
Well,
technically say
you
Glimish
know,
is off the ground yet? I
I would
mean,
say Glimish is off the ground. I mean, it's a fully stable platform. A majority of the basic features are there, and people use it without like
hmm,
any sort of major issues. So yeah, I would say that Glimish is off the ground. Uh,
never mind my
but
background, guys. I've got my grandson here, so if you see the little man running backwards and forwards,
but I think the biggest problem with these newer platforms is that they set the bar too high,
yeah, they
right?
expect the
It,
world when they can't deliver a footpath.
you know, yeah.
Yeah,
There's the whole KISS method. Keep it simple,
yeah,
stupid.
keep it simple,
You know,
stupid. Yeah,
keep it simple. Have basics. Start at a low level. Build on top
yeah,
of that. Work on having a platform that works. You've got to have that
yeah,
functionality
exactly.
there before you even like. You can't just come up with the idea. Oh, we're going to launch a platform next year, and we're going to give like subs are going to get 90%, 90% to the creator and all that. That's all bold ideas, but you don't need any of that. You work on getting a platform first, then implement
Do,
features later on.
do you think? Do you think though that the big three have really pushed too hard on that? Where the expectation is, if you're going to launch said option, that it has to be feature packed before it launches.
No, I don't think it's got anything to do with the top three. I think it's got to do with the content creators themselves.
The
Their
mentality.
expectations are too high.
Yeah,
They're like, but it's just this society nowadays. Want everything for nothing. Don't want to put in the hard work. Or they'll
mm,
just come up
mm.
with excuses like, why am I paying, say, Twitch 50% of my earnings when I do all the work?
Yeah. When I do all the
I
work, yeah,
mean,
exactly right.
that no.
But no, what
you
I'm
know,
saying is
I
like, okay, like we've seen it with Glimish, especially. We've seen the attacks on social media and in chats, like, oh, why would you bother hanging here? You've got like 5 people. You don't have this feature. You don't have that feature. Like we've seen it all before. Is that because they become too accustomed to the big three pushing those boundaries because they have got those multi-million-dollar companies backing them? Or do you just feel that it is purely just the egos and the greed of the creator that says, oh, I'm not going to go to a new platform because they don't have X feature?
like, all right. So I'm not going to say that the platform isn't at fault. Like, obviously, they cave to peer pressure. They try and
Yeah.
have a smooth playing ground. They do fuck up on occasion.
Mm,
Um, but ultimately, it is the content creator. It is that
yeah.
greed. It's not about what it used to be. Back in the early days of streaming, where streaming was fun and enjoyable. Stream to your friends or whatever. Like now, it's
Yeah.
all, oh, hey, I can earn
Business.
money from this. I can make a job out of this. I need to be paid more. This needs
So
to happen.
that then poses something that I said in Memory Leak's channel yesterday. Yesterday, maybe the day before. I was in there talking to him, and we we're talking about this sort of platformy stuff and shit like that. And would you agree that streaming now has taken a complete evolution, and it's not just streaming anymore? It is actually a business. It is actually a job, and you work for said platform, be it smaller platform, bigger platform, whatever. You as a creator are working to bring in those people to make those subs to make the platform sort of what it is.
Part, yes. Yeah. In some way, you are working for the platform. I mean, you are
Yeah,
promoting the platform. I mean, that's
yeah,
like, that is a part of it. You can't just stream on, say, Twitch, for example. and be like, oh, but I stream 40 hours a week, and I'm
Yeah.
only getting like half of what I earn. I should be getting paid more. Yeah, but you're streaming on a platform. That platform has to host you. It's
Yeah.
got its own expenses and all this sort of jazz. So, those expenses are quite large compared to whatever content you're doing. So, yes,
Yeah.
50%. That's just how it works.
So just to address that in chat, sorry, we'll just jump in there. So Paco said, I'd say working with opposed to working for. It's a mutual beneficial partnership. That's well and good if everything is rolling conjunctively.
Yes.
So when it's a joint thing and everything's moving forward, I would agree. But in the state of, say, the top three right now, they could care nothing about their creators. They don't care. They don't care if they promote. They don't care what they do. All they want to see is those channels bringing in X amount of subs to make the payments to make the platform more money. That's all they care about. So
because it is a business, it is
should be
supposed to be a
mutually beneficial.
profitable.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
right.
a profitable adventure. That's what it is. It because it is a business. That's what these guys don't understand. Like you're a business under a business.
Yeah. So flicking that switch is, like I said, we went from stages early on where it was all about, streaming for fun, streaming to your friends and just hanging out and, watching or whatever, to a platform introducing this sub feature of, hey, your friends can support you and we get a little bit on the side, which then started to turn the industry into everyone needs subs, everyone needs this, everyone needs that. That platform has to have subs to launch, otherwise it's not a platform. This has to happen. This has to happen. So through, I guess, in some ways, a slightly more aggressive stance with streaming came the industry that we have now, where we're seeing too much of shutters on. I'm here. This is where I get my subs. I don't want to look just to my left at something that might give me better stuff or might give me more chance to grow or more discoverability.
Yeah, it's a very selfish.
So it's a mentality,
isn't it? It seems incredibly selfish, because it's only focused on, I'm making content, I have people follow me, I get paid, and that's sort of as far as that bubble goes. For, I would say, most of us here on Glimish, we actually do consider how much does it cost to run Glimish. How we think about outside of that personal bubble.
exactly.
How do we support the platform? How do we make sure that the platform stays around so we can still stream on it?
Yeah, exactly right. That's right.
Yeah. But
I mean, there's always going to be natural growth and generic growth. There's always going to be sort of singularity growth, as in, you'll bring people into your channel that obviously won't bounce around, won't go and look at other things. So there'll be that kind of thing as well. But just in general, like Paco just said there in chat, I think we left Twitch being the only option for too long. I'd have to say that I don't think the Twitch being left was the problem. I think it was the foreclosure of Microsoft with Mixer. I think that was what triggered a big downslide in the industry.
Yeah.
Because Mixer was challenging Twitch at one stage. It was actually starting to get noticed. It was starting to get on the radar. Then YouTube cottoned on it, went, oh, hang on, we can get involved in this. Even though there's junky and crap and it's hard to find and stuff like that. Facebook joined on. So now you had 4 and it started to work. But then when Mixer went, everyone just sort of went out to those big 3 and then refused to go to small platforms because, if Microsoft can't handle it, how's a one-man show at Glimish or Altair or Brime, or even Kick, for example, like how are they going to manage
I think
doing their platform? If $1 million company like Microsoft couldn't sustain it and challenge the big guys, how could a small one do it? So I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like no matter which way you swing the sword, you affect one side or the other.
Oh, it's just general politics, isn't it? Like you're never going to please both sides ever.
Yeah, exactly.
You just sort of got to pick your route and just go along that road, and just.
But then, And then, like I said, you always have those ones who, oh, you're over there. Well, you're not really a content creator because you're just on a shit platform. You want to be a content creator, you've got to come here. So
Yeah.
that's that, balance of opinion. It's just like, rather than saying, hey, we're all creators of standard. It doesn't matter what medium we use, because like it or not, Glimish, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Brime, whatever, they're all just a medium at the end of the day. It doesn't change that aspect of we're still doing that same creation. We're still playing the same games. We're still probably winning just as many games as what those big guys are on Twitch. We're just doing it in a different place. And that's, trying to
And
get the opinion to just open the eyes. And I saw it on Twitter the other day. Someone said, there's no such thing as a small streamer. And we touched on this a couple of seasons, probably last season, that a small streamer doesn't exist. It's not a small streamer. You're just a content creator.
it's
You're
a
making
title.
content. That's what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these titles and stuff that fall from these guys who like, oh, I've got 50,000 people tuned in every day. You're just shit. No, it's like, it doesn't matter how many people you got tuned in.
Where did they start?
You're still creating content. Yeah, exactly. It's like
they
learner
started
drivers. You get a learner driver out there learning to drive, and you're sitting behind them. Like, you give them a little bit of breathing space. You try and help them. You don't get up on there and you'd bag them because at one stage, you too were a learner driver. It's the same thing. It's like, whether they're first day content creation or they've been doing it for 15 years, there's no difference.
And that's why Mixer got such a bad rap. Because Twitch had been around for so long, YouTube had been around for so long. Mixer came to the party with its sort of homegrown sort of
rattled
feel.
the cage.
Yeah, and just sort of shook the ground up a little bit. And everyone's like, that place is crap. Why would you want to go there? It doesn't even compare to Twitch. Firstly, duh. Of course it doesn't.
No one wants to compare to
You've got, but apart from that, you've got years a difference. That's
exactly.
That's a huge thing. I mean, it's like AMD and Intel right now.
Yeah,
Intel had just so many more years experience on.
And they still can't get it right,
and they're stuck in their ways.
Sorry, no pokes at Intel, but no,
I think
for real
Mixer
though,
was
it's
a good thing for the market. I really do.
I do.
I absolutely adored Mixer, and it was good because it was still fairly homegrown, not towards the end, but it was different. It had that different feel to it, and that sort of allowed people to change their mindset after a while.
A little bit,
This place is obviously a little bit better than Twitch. Yeah, it doesn't have all these features, but I feel at home, kind of thing.
It was kind of like you weren't saturated. You kind of fit into the pool, and you were just kind of absorbed into the network. And it was just like before you knew it, you were mingling with like partners and top level streamers, and then other beginner streamers who were just coming in and asking questions of you. And you're like, oh well, hang on, I don't know. Let me go and find out. So you were kind of mixing in that pool. It wasn't just a case of, right, that's the big kid pool, that's the little kid pool, and then the rest of you at the front gate, you just do whatever.
So I think Mixer was one of those classic cases where it was a great idea that wasn't foundationally solid.
I think the foundation was broken.
As fantastic as Mixer was, and I honestly wish it was still around, it was probably a good thing that it closed, because it then opened the door. It then opened the door for all these other people, like Clone and all that, to be okay. Well, everything's shit. I want to go back to that homegrown vibe. I want a place where everyone accepts everyone for who they are. There's no like sort of competition. I want a place that's fair for everyone, and like that's where these places are coming from now. Like obviously a lot of them have died off, but I mean that's gonna happen. You're not gonna have a Mixer success story by any means
overnight.
But I feel like out of all the ones that have come to life, Blemish is the one that's still holding on. Like, however long that holds on for, we don't know. But they're doing a hell of a better job than say Brian, for example, or Altair, unfortunately.
Well, I mean,
Definitely better
Altair
than
never really got open, did it? But I mean, look, I mean,
yeah.
when you look at the top few that are sort of there with little to no real backing, I mean, you had Gamer Network just recently,
Which apparently is still coming.
That'll be fucking seen to be believed. Kicks backed by was it Stake, which is like
Stake.com,
a crypto casino or some fucking thing. Like, again,
And
that's gonna have its own
that's
disaster.
I mean, it's
You know,
already a disaster. I don't know what you're talking
you
about.
had Brime, which was, again, that's just another hot turd right now. You know, there's another one coming out. Was it D-Tube was another one that I heard about.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's also share places on the go
Share
as well. So,
coming.
I mean, there's a lot of situations where I think if one of those multitude actually hit a rhythm and hit it well, they could, get that, not mix of success, but they could definitely get that step up in the market. And I think competition's good, but on the same time, a platform, aka say Glimish, for example, could ill afford to lose its creators to another platform that's going to rise up, because without creators, there's no platform. You can't rely on 3 or 4 people, 5, 6, 7 people all the time. It's got to be you've got to have those people there. So I think competition's good, but it's also bad as well.
There's a bit of there's a bit of an issue with all of it, because new platforms are coming out, and what's the one thing that they're advertising? Subcut,
splits,
splits,
over the top, ridiculous splits.
And that is what they're pushing for, because that is what the current market is. Everyone's in it to earn just a bit of extra cash. Let's say all platforms started giving 75% cut, right? At what point is that 75% not enough? When will it then be?
I mean, 80%? as soon as you find another platform
90.
that goes and drops, as soon as you find another platform that comes in and says we can survive on 80, so we'll give you 80 and we'll take 20%. As soon as they start rolling it, then everyone will be on the trainers. Oh, why can't Glimish do an 80-20? Why can't Twitch do 80-20? Why can't Facebook? I mean, Facebook have done a full 100%, but we all know they've got their backing of all the ads and shit like that. But again, that poses that question. I'm sure Glimish or Brime, all those places could actually do an 80-20. But how invasive is it going to be on the platform? Because you need that other support income. You need that other cash flow to be making that cut.
Ads.
This is what people are not seeing. So you've got to have ads. Ads interrupt streams, or ads take the focus away from a stream. Like, let's say, for example, now Glimish had an ad and it flashed up under the bottom. Are people really going to be watching us, or are they going to be looking at the ad because it's flashing around and doing weird things?
I mean, it's the
downside. If it pops up in chat, people are going to be looking over there. They're not going to be seeing what's going on. So again,
but it's the compromise.
It's hard.
It is. It's the compromise of giving the people what they want. People want to be paid more. They don't want ads. That platform has to balance the books somehow. Right? So they put in ads, and then everyone's like, "Oh, I don't want ads." And then it's like, "Oh, okay, right? Well, then we're gonna up the price of subs." Oh no, my people can't afford that. It's not a one-man show here. You've got to find some middle
That was my next point, is what do they whinge about the most? They don't get paid enough and they don't want ads. So how are they going to subsidize a platform
because it's a
to make it more beneficial?
Because they don't care about the platform.
That's right.
They only care about themselves and how much they earn. So what? All right. So
and then
in that sense, why do you stream on the platform if you don't care about it?
Exactly. But then that also stems to these startup places that only care about lining their pocket, not really providing any real factor. It's like, oh, well, if I can make a few $100,000 here, awesome for me. Screw everybody else.
Yeah.
That's why you see them on Kickstarters, and you see them start GoFundMe pages and things like that. Help me get my platform off the ground. They get $15,000-$20,000, they're gone. Shut down. Don't know.
Yeah,
Don't know where it was.
I couldn't get it off the ground. Sorry.
Yeah. Just couldn't get the team. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. But like,
but yeah, like competition is good.
there is that,
but it's bad.
There is that selfishness, but I don't necessarily think it needs to be competition. though. I think it just needs to be options, like people, like places for people to go. Necessarily, not like this platform's competing with all of these other platforms. It's like we're giving you an option to go somewhere else.
That in itself creates a competition, doesn't it? If you had one supermarket,
there is that sort of naturalized competition.
Yeah, if you had one supermarket to go to, no problem. As soon as they put a second one in the same area and they offer different things, you start going, oh, hang on, maybe I'll go to that one. So you start to breed that competition between the two of them, because then they see this one sees people going over there, and we've got to do something else to pull them back. So then you start creating that back and forth competition.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we're seeing with platforms.
All right. But think about the platforms as they are now. Right. Think about the ones that are trying to compete to get people in. Right. Have they survived? No.
Well, firstly, have they launched? Well, I mean, that's the problem. I mean,
they made that. Well, that's it. Right. But are they a thing, and have they survived?
Well, I mean, look at Kick, for example. Right. No one heard about it, and they got Trainwreck from Twitch. So he's left there and gone over to Kick. So again, he's already got that big backing. So he goes over there.
So
and pulls in.
Kick's a whole.
And now. No. But hear me out. Don't just hear me out.
Yeah.
He's pulled everyone over there. He's got a big social media following. He promotes this to hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of people who already follow him go, oh, he's moved over there. Let's all go.
Yeah.
Where if you've got a platform that just launches overnight, nice and quiet, flies under the radar, and then everyone goes, oh, I'm over here. And people go, you got 50 people on your Twitter. Like, where are you? They're not caring about that, because that, that big thing again like, comes out of that bigger streamer.
To Glimish as well. Because people remember how Glimish started.
Yeah,
they don't care about what it is now. They
care about what happened day one or two.
They remember the problems that everyone had.
Yeah,
and, all the issues. It's just like nothing worked. Can't stream. Blah blah blah. FPL sucks. Blah.
Yeah,
it's like but it's
things change. Problems. People learn. They fix things up. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you talk about the problems, but yet people will play games that are busted on day one, and they get a day one patch the next day, and then, this game is awesome. It's a game of the year. Quick, everyone vote this for game of the year. It's just like, but you can't do the same with a platform. The mentality of people is just their brains. Are just
right.
cuckoo.
So technically, Glimish is an early access platform. So. Yes, things are going to be missing. Things are going to be broken. You can't just play an early access game and go, oh, it's going to be top notch. No, things are going to be fucking broken, and features are going to be added in. But people still love playing early access games because they get to help it grow and develop. Why the fuck are we not? As you said, why are we not supporting this on streaming platforms?
Because mentality is, I can go to Twitch and have everything I want. You don't have it. I'm not coming. That's the mentality.
Everything you want, because everyone wants more.
I know.
There's always going to be that need for more.
But they seem to think that these bigger platforms will listen more than a Glimish or a Brime or these smaller upcoming platforms. Which is
more
not
of a chance of Glimish listening to your ideas than you do Twitch.
Yeah.
You're going to have a whole group of people screaming at Twitch, being like, our sub cuts, shit like that. They're not going to care. To just stomp on you and be like, whatever, on your way.
Go away. Go find it elsewhere then. Bye. There's another million people to follow you.
Yeah.
It's
we can replace you. It's fine.
But I mean, the integrity also of the leaders behind these platforms has to come into light too, and be accountable. Like again, we'll touch on Gamer Network. You know that that's a shit show. Let's be honest. That's just a hot turd right now in the sun, and that's going to be a mess. But the integrity, like there's got to be integrity and honesty from the top down, and it's got to be if something isn't right, then it's got to come from the top and say, look, we are missing this, we are doing this, and we are working on that. Or
Yeah.
we are going to fund this and we are going to fund that, or we're going to move this or move that. It's coming from the top down. When you've got community that go into the, aka that Gamer Network, and say, we know you and you're not very good at what you do.
You can't be
and then they
trusted
start playing it down as a
in
social
general.
media manager and things like that, start just bullshitting their way around.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the smaller platforms start tend to suffer and don't get the same recognition they would normally have gotten without that disruption.
Yeah. No, I totally
Like
agree.
Gamer Network, in theory, actually hurt a lot of the smaller platforms. In essence.
Well, I mean, it's like content creation in general, isn't it? You're going to have those people who are going to taint the image of what good is. Certain female streamers, for example, taint the image of female streamers who actually put in the hard work and
actually try and do a
good job and do good content creation. It taints their image because you compete with that.
Yeah.
So Gamer Network's done the same thing. Just out of nowhere, they've just tainted the small streamer platform name.
Yeah, really. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and no one wants to have anything to do with small platforms, and I don't understand why.
I don't get it.
It does feel like selfishness, doesn't it? Like it's the whole thing just revolves around selfishness.
100% it does.
Like where do you think everything started from? Where do you think YouTube started from?
Right, yeah.
YouTube started as a fucking dating site. Right? And then they were like, we're gonna post videos, and the first video was of a cat. And then it just sort of exploded.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, look at like even now in the social media market right now, like everyone's talking Elon's going to kill Twitter. Where do we go? Like everyone's going, oh, I'm going to Tumblr. But Tumblr used to have NSFW content and 18 plus content on the, do you really want to take your community into something that's like that? Like, is that what you want to put everything? Like, do you not check the backdates? Like, sure, they've maybe eliminated that content, but again, it's still technically out there on that area. So, I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know.
No,
there's too many upsets in the streaming / social circle right now that just it makes it hard to find a rhythm. It makes it hard to get in a groove and just do things because every time you turn around, you get hit in the face with something else.
Yeah, like for me, I just wanted to find a home. That's what I wanted. I wanted a place where I can just sort of settle down, and that was it. Like I'd be happy where I was. And with Mixer, that was it. So I'm sure it was the same for you.
Absolutely,
because like obviously, like I joined in the Beam days.
Same.
Can't remember it. Yeah, you did as well. So you were around for that really sort of deep homegrown. Everyone looked out for each other. It was
the real hands in the dirt. Like building everything. You were pouring the concrete slab. You were
to support each other.
Yeah.
And it felt like a great place to be. And like I honestly thought that was it. I had found essentially my streaming career for however long it may be. And unfortunately it was cut short. And that I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way. And that's why when Mixer shut down, it hurt a lot of people. They didn't want to go anywhere else. They just gave up. that was it. That was the end of streaming for them. And that sucks. And
I mean,
that's why we get all these small platforms now, trying to fill that void. But it's never going to be the same.
yeah. For me, I think the realization now, which is probably why I haven't streamed for the last few months, is literally that. Like, it's just, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't feel connected. Like, you just don't feel that connection to anything. It's
Something's
like
not quite right.
it just doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah, something isn't.
Yeah,
There.
something feels off.
I can't put my finger on it. I can't say it's like it's not view count because again, viewers don't mean shit to me. It's like I don't care about the number. I don't care. Like people in chat just chatting away, hanging out. That's cool. Whatever. One person, 10 people, 100 people. Don't care. I've had them all. Just something just doesn't fit. It didn't fit on Trovo. Didn't fit on Twitch. I just, and I think the reality is I'm just missing. I'm missing what that was.
Yeah.
And something about what that was that you can't find anywhere else. And I don't think you'll ever find it. And I think that's the hardest part. It's like when you've got a pet, you have a pet for 10 or 15 years and you lose that pet, you go and get another one. It's just never the same. It just doesn't, it's not the same. It doesn't have the same character. It doesn't have the same appeal. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many you replace it with, it's never going to be the same. And I think mentally, I think that's where I'm at. I think mentally I'm just out. Like, I don't think I'm in a position now with the platforms and stuff where I've been through that anything's just going to quite hit that void. And I just don't know why.
Yeah. I think...
I mean, I thought I could fill that void with myself. I thought I could make it, but no, I can't. I've tried.
I think a part of it's uncertainty as well. Because platforms are so young, there's that uncertainty of, well, there are other platforms that have died. How long is it going to be before this one does? Is it going to die?
Is that one going to take off? Is this one,
like
am I on the wrong train? Should I jump ship? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like there was a stage, where I joined Glimish and I'm like, yeah, like this is it. Like this feels like what it used to feel like, and I was like, I'm all in on this. I still am to a degree, but yeah, just something about it, like now compared to say, a year ago, you're like something's not right, and it's something that you can't describe. It's just this.
It's just a feeling,
unnerving feeling that something's not right.
It's like something's wrong. Yeah, it's like something's wrong, but nothing's being said. It's almost like we're just going to slide that under the rug and just hope that no one finds it. It's almost like that. You're doubting what's there. Like you're not sure that it's
like
completely 100%. Like with Brian, you could kind of tell straight away. That wasn't 100%. Altair, you kind of thought, it's close, and then they put out the notification they were going to shut down. So you kind of, you kind of don't know what to expect, because at the drop of a hat, it could be, hey, we're not working, it's not working, and we're done. Like Altair didn't even actually launch a platform, and it shut. Like I guess it's that level of uncertainty, but you don't want to go back to the ones that are certain, aka Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, because they're all shit. You want that connection, and I don't know. I just don't know if I'm feeling it in the circles anywhere.
Yeah, it does hurt your decision making ultimately, because you think about it. Let's say Glimish only lasts another 6 months, right? And we know it's going to shut down. What do you do?
Yeah, what's the next step? Exactly, yeah.
What is the next step in your journey? And I've thought about that. I've watched the trends, and I know that Glimish is sort of slowly going.
It's
down.
Slowly, but it's not as rapid.
It's not. It's going to last a decent amount of time. and
Yeah,
I will ride that out to the end. And
but the
I have
problem
thought about,
poses,
yeah,
what is
I
the
have
future
thought
though?
about the aftermath. Yeah, what
Yeah,
am I going to do once that end point comes to fruition? What am I going to
yeah.
do? And I don't have an answer. Because I don't want to go anywhere. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
this was the backup plan for finding
this is the
a
rebound Twitch.
homely. Yeah, this no, well, Twitch was, but
this is
this
the
was
rebound, yeah. But
this
no, I
was
know what you're
the
saying
plan to
because
find a homely platform, and
yeah,
once that's gone, because obviously this sort of filled the void of Mixer, right? But it
mm,
didn't quite fill the void. So
yeah, it
once this
wasn't
is gone, it's like,
what's there, yeah.
well, what do I do? And the only sort of conclusion I continuously come up with is that's it, done.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's over.
and I
I'm not
guess,
gonna.
you know, at some points, like I've been riding that with you as well. Like we've been talking off stream
Mm,
and face to face and shit like that, been sitting down and talking about it. But I guess in some ways, I think it's almost at a point where a lot of people might be in very similar boats, and they've just gone, no, I'm just not even going to wait to the end. I'm just going to control my destiny rather than feeling that pain again, and they
yeah,
just bailed on it. Like, and
I mean,
again,
and
that could
that's
stem back
fair.
to things like Altair, that could stem back to Brime, that could stem back to Gamer Network, because they're all these starting platforms that have pretty much died. It's
Yeah,
got that leaves no faith in that sector. So everyone either bails from there and goes back to YouTube, where they know they're just not going to find it, or they go back to Twitch and expect to try and grow, or they
yeah,
go to Facebook and have a 30-second delay and all these other bullshit things going on. Somebody has to come with confidence. Somebody has to stamp the market and say, this is it. We are not doing it, and have
mm,
to put some guarantee on it, because I don't think in the small streamer sector right now, like as in platform wise, I just don't think there's any confidence.
no,
I really don't. I don't think there's confidence in platforms anymore.
no. And like, there's people like us who obviously are not going to go to the top three.
Oh,
Well,
not a fucking
never,
chance.
never going to happen, right?
Not a
We
chance.
cut our ties with Team Purple. That shit's done. Like,
I handed my
it's
affiliation back and said,
over.
"Get fucked."
Yeah. I got my final payout and was like, "See
Yep.
ya." Like, I was gone. Did not. I didn't go back, and I don't choose to go back.
No.
Like, I like I would love another mixer, and I did feel that Glimish could have, you know, at least majority filled that hole.
Yeah, sort of fill that space. Yeah.
There was a lot of potential, but also in saying that, there was a large period of time when it's like, okay, we've got a platform,
Use it.
and like nothing
It
really
was
happened.
just.
It was like,
It
okay,
was.
so
It was like
there was
silence.
talk
Yeah.
of all these features and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, well, it's coming
Yeah.
eventually. It's like,
Well, I
well,
mean,
that's you're
like
not going to
myth.
give
Like I
people
know
faith in the
Mytho and Memory
platform.
Leak are. I
Oh,
know that those
Memory
guys are
Lake.
working hard in the background. I do know that.
Oh, like
But
Memory
again,
Lake
like I say,
alone
it's
is just dominating the
he's
feature
killing it.
market at the moment. Um,
He's loving it right now.
he's
But
on
yeah, I
an
think
absolute path right now.
it's just the confidence though, because like I said, the confidence is the problem.
Yeah.
No one's got confidence in these up and coming platforms.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, how do you have confidence in a platform when the people who run the platform don't have full confidence in it themselves?
Well, yeah, but then how do you again? Like, look at Brian. Those guys were overly confident. You thought, okay, these might actually do something, and then
But that's
they
just
crashed and
that.
burned. And then Altair again, same thing. They were
But
quietly confident, like, hey, we can do
there's
this. But
a difference between being confident in the product that you're giving and delivering, over the top promises.
yeah. But that's what I'm
The
saying. Though. Like,
promises that are too good to be true.
But I'm saying you got the flip side of the coin. You've got those who are underconfident, and you got those that are overconfident, and then people in the middle going, these guys who are really confident failed. These guys are not showing any confidence. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll just keep walking this line until I find, a door that's open. I think we need to try and change that. Somehow
I think
we need to try and change that mentality and get people confident in a platform. We need to get people understanding it. Now, I know that, we've spoken about ads and shit on platforms, but honestly, I feel that's what is going to keep a platform, aka Glimish or Brime or things like that. That's what's going to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Through that tough stage.
Like,
early on, it's going to keep them chugging forward.
As much as it would suck, like I know a lot of people would crack the shits over it. As much as it would suck to see like a slim banner across the top of your stream that just rolled ads, right? Yes,
but I mean,
that would absolutely suck. But it's income for the platform.
And I mean, when we host people, we've got that banner up there anyway. So is it really that big a problem? Are we at a stage where we need to start considering that ads are going to make their appearance no matter what eventually anyway, and just bite the bullet and do it early? Yeah. That's the industry we're in now.
Regardless of which website you go to, 99% of websites will have ads on. And
without a doubt.
Creepily, they are oddly specific to things you have just searched for as well, which I don't like.
Yeah, they kind of listen in.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you showing me an ad for that? I searched for that on my phone, but I'm on my desktop. It's like, no, it's like that shit's just weird. That weirds me out. But regardless, it is a part.
We are in an ad age. Yeah,
it's
100%.
It would just make financial sense to do that. Yes, it's going to upset a lot of people, but
if it's not intrusive, it doesn't invade the stream, and it's just there, and the platform makes a few dollars of it. I mean, at this stage in time, I mean, providing it keeps the foundation solid and pushes the platform forward, I mean, I'm all for it at this stage.
Yeah,
because something's got to give. There's got to be some sort of confidence somewhere.
Yeah, by no means am I saying that we need to go in the route of Twitch, where we have 5 ads roll over the stream in a row, or 25 ads roll over the stream in a row. But yeah, if it's there, and it's not intrusive to the stream itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm all for it.
The only downside is ad blockers at that stage. You would have to have faith in people, turning off an ad blocker for the platform.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, the agreement would be the ads play on the platform. You don't know whether they've got ad blockers or not, but the ads still run on the platform.
Yeah, and
see, you know what? I'd even be up to, like, you can see on the channel now, we've got that big padding all around the stream. I'd be up to moving the screen to the side of that padding and then using, a bit of a column for an ad over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, offset the stream towards the edge and then use that side as a...
Yeah. I don't know. If there was
I'd be down for something. I mean, it's something's got to give us, not us, but I'm saying it's got to give the community confidence in the platform going forward, because I think that's the only way you're going to create generic growth.
Yeah, definitely not saying no to ads. Yes, I hate ads, but
not
now.
Saying no to ads. Not in this industry.
Right? If there was a way to implement ads in a very,
subtle way,
subtle, low intrusive way, that did work, revenue wise for the platform, not necessarily the streamer. We don't want we don't want to go down that road where hey, there's an ad on my page, I want a part of that revenue. No, fuck off. Don't even think about it. No, unless you're going to physically play ads over the top of your stream, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there was a low intrusive way to do it, I'm all for it. 100%.
I think
There's
as long as it builds confidence within the community and gets direction, yeah, I'm 100% for it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always an option later on where you can just say, "Yep, thank you. We no longer need them, and we no longer require them." You know, and you can terminate your agreement or whatever. You know, at that point. But I think early on, I think it definitely needs some sort of
well, I think
back scratching. I guess is the point.
In the downward slope it's currently in, I think it's not a bad idea. You know, obviously, if it gets to a point where a lot more people come to the platform, you know, and you can look at the revenue and be like, well, okay, you know, if we got rid of ads, we're actually sustainable, and
Yeah,
it's
like
sort of
we're
tracking
making.
upwards. You're like,
Yeah,
all right, well, we'll consider removing ads. Or, you know, it could just be a permanent feature. You know, if it's just a low intrusive ad of some kind.
yeah.
I mean, you gotta look at the reality of the whole situation.
Maybe create a Glimmers channel called Glim Ads, so it's actually got ads rolling on it 24/7, so you can go in there and click on them and get the special deals and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, but I like I said, the industry right now is very very low on confidence. It's got no confidence that anything is going to survive because of, aka Microsoft handing over Mixer, basically just dumping it.
Yeah.
You know, that's left a lot of lacking confidence around the industry, and I think someone's got to step forward and claim that confidence and stamp their authority on it and say, look, we have a 10-year plan. You know, 10-year plan's a freaking long time. I know it's a long time.
Yeah.
Even a 5-year plan, and just say, look, next 5 years, we
Yeah.
still are covered for, 5 years. And here's our proof. This is what we have. We have 5 years of sustainability.
Yeah. We can financially sustain ourselves for
5 years.
X amount of years. Yeah.
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 I think
I'm on board with that.
let's say share plays. They're not coming out until what, second half of next year, they said?
Yeah.
I think it was. So if they come out and they can stamp their authority and say, we have a 10-year plan and here it is laid out.
Yeah.
Here's our finances for that period of time. Anything extra that comes into the platform is X bonus. You know, you're building that confidence, and that people can then say, okay, well, I've got at least 10 years over there.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if I'm still streaming in 10 years, fuck Christ, give me a break. But you know what I mean? Like, someone's got to come with confidence. Someone's got to, but someone's got to stamp their authority on the confidence, don't they? They've got to put confidence in there.
Like, obviously,
whether that's a Glimish, whether that's
over time.
Oh, I mean, obviously, yeah, you could keep that flow updated and say, look, we're now projected for 12 years, 13 years. You know, you could show that projection.
Yeah, it's just like update it quarterly or something. You know, it doesn't need to be like, every week. Or hey, look, just quick.
Yeah, but I mean,
just
you do it monthly,
every
or
financial
6
year
months.
or whatever.
Yeah, every 6 months or every year. You just show, look, this is our growth. We're building for 14 years now.
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, everyone wants to be able to do it for like 20 years or whatever. Yeah, but be realistic. I mean, 5 years, very realistic. I mean, what? I spent 4 years on Mixer, and it felt like a lifetime. But it was a fantastic lifetime. Oh my god! But like, if you give a 5-year plan, that could be enough for you to really sort of get yourself off the ground,
cemented
as a content creator, and cement your feet in a place and be like, this is the road I'm going on, and just really go hard on it.
Yeah, I know I'm going to be there for 5 years as a bare minimum.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you that 5-year projection will take a north incline. It will start to move up. You'll get that extra boost, and you'll say, okay, now we can project another 2 years. We can project another year. So we're now going to 8 years, 9 years. After 3 or 4 years and everyone just flooding in, they're going to forget about the projection anyway, because you don't need it. Because you've already secured that confidence of people.
Well, I'm sure Clone's done the same thing. I'm sure he's looked at the numbers and sort of given a rough prediction to himself on how long the
Oh, I
platform's
mean,
going to last for. Like, no doubt. I mean, you'd be insane not to even think about that.
anybody. Yeah, I was gonna
Really.
say anybody in that position would have looked at it for sure.
So, not saying, clone, if you're watching, that you need to do this, right? Okay, not forcing your hand at all. But just in general, yeah, it would be good. Like, as a platform launches, be like, look, we're just starting off. We have a financial plan that's stable enough for us to last X time.
yeah,
And, you know, just sort of be like, we hope you join us for that. That would be cool. Because that, whatever that base timeline is, that's obviously without sub revenues or like platform donations
ad
or
revenue and
anything
things
like
like
that.
that. Yeah,
That is just, we have X amount of money, it's going to last X amount of time. If nothing really happens, this is the bare minimum that you can enjoy our
yeah.
platform.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But that would breed confidence. People would be able to be confident in that because you and I are both spoken. We've heard them say, "Oh, yeah, but how long is Glitch going to last?" And none of these others are lasted. How long? Again, if you've got that cemented, any
But
new platform that launches, like share plays, that D2, whatever, if they can all cement that and say this is how long our span is, yeah, obviously things are going to fluctuate up and down in that time. Costs will
yeah,
change, and you'll get, you'll do some
but
things or whatever
it's
else.
more
But
based on
in
an
general,
average.
like you draw the line and you say, okay, we're above the line. This is our minimum. We're back up, and now we're projecting for 7 years or something like that. I think
Yeah.
we got to find a way as the industry. We've got to find a way to stamp confidence on these
Yeah.
smaller platforms.
Yeah.
I don't know
Like,
how they do it,
obviously,
but they've
you're
got to
not
do
looking
something.
for an exact time frame.
No, because you
on
can't do it.
on June 24th, 2028. This is the end date. If no one
Yeah.
supports, no. But, I mean, it's
No,
an
but
estimation window. Obviously,
it's like we can cover
the
10
more
years.
the more data you collect, you go for like an average sort of line. It's going to give like a variation of a window, and just
Yeah.
there.
You
Well,
can't
this is
exactly
sort of the
predict
goal.
what's going on, but
No.
you can at least give a guide, and people can be like, "Oh, so you've got a 6-year prediction? That's okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We can see,
Like,
you know,
that's pretty solid. Like, if someone were to come out and be like, we can sustain ourselves for 5 years, that's huge. That's huge in a
yeah,
streaming market. That-
exactly, yeah."
it's not like
Because after
it's
5
not like
years,
YouTube where you do it for like, well, some people are doing it for like 15 years now.
but I mean, after 5 years, you wouldn't even think about that level because it would already have generated its own stack really, and it would have already
Yeah.
started to push on from that 5-year margin. So you wouldn't.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Again, 5 years would be a benchmark sort of thing because after that, the generic growth would already push that out to say 8 or 9 years anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So ultimately, out of all of this rambling for the last hour, it's more about
Confidence.
having confidence in the platform that you are showing
Choosing.
your content creation on, and stop being so fucking selfish in in regards to like earning money and all that sort of jazz. Like, it's all about me. It'd be more about the platform and all that sort of jazz. Yeah,
Pretty much.
I think that's really it. Because like I honestly, like, because I've gone and seen Kick. I went over there and I had a look.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
zero. I mean, what they've got
From what I've heard about it, I'm not even going to open it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see what I've heard about because obviously it's like a free for all over there. It's like, and I mean free for all. Like, basically there are sections of it that are basically Pornhub.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But it's a Twitch clone. And like, it looks almost exactly like Twitch, and there's no
But it's their own
privacy
code.
policy. There's no rules. It's literally a free for all.
Yeah.
If you're a scumbag, go there. Leave the rest of us alone to support a better platform.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be cool.
No. But diverting away from that, another thing that's not cool is Microsoft have now. I know it's completely off tangent compared to everything. It's completely ruined the flow.
As you always do.
But yeah, what do you do? But Microsoft have now stated that all first-party games are now going to cost $70 US as of 2023. So they are actually following the trend of what PlayStation's doing.
I mean,
this is just going to fuel the Activision Blizzard bullshit, really, because this is exactly what Sony said was going to happen. You know, the Activision Blizzard acquisition was going to take place, and then game prices were going to go up. It's like, yeah, but Sony already did that.
Yeah, Sony did that like 2 months ago.
Yeah, already raised the price of your console and your games. So got no leg to stand on. It was inevitable. It was going to happen. I mean,
exactly. It was going to happen.
Any sort of person who is realistic was going to know that the price of games was going to go up. But they are first-party games, right? Yes, there's probably going to be a lot of them, but you know, you still got your indie titles and that are going to be more reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Because they can do that. So it's going to suck for us over here, because obviously $10 US is going to equate to, well, $50 extra. Exchange rates suck. So, you know, it's going to hurt. But it is.
But in saying that, Microsoft have also said when the acquisition goes through that they'll get COD onto the Switch.
Yes, they have a 10-year plan.
Mm-hmm.
So the same 10-year plan,
yeah.
right? They got a 10-year plan to put Call of Duty on the Switch for like the first time in a long, long, long time.
Now that poses the next thing. How is Xbox or Microsoft going to get it onto the Switch? Now they must be in bed with each other.
I mean, well, Xbox and Nintendo have always been good bed buddies.
Oh, they've always been they've always been around, haven't they?
They've been best friends for ages. And Sony's just sort of been the one standing in the corner glaring at them for a while.
Like the third wheel at the party, like, can you just go
no,
away?
It's just like
leave us
standing over next
just
to
go away, yeah.
Sony's the one standing over at the punch bowl, just staring at them dancing in the middle of the floor. And like, fuck you guys. I hate you people.
But yeah, so that makes
yeah, well, I mean, I mean, is it going to be a physical release? Is it going to be available in the Nintendo Digital Store? Is it going to come via cloud gaming?
Game Pass, yeah, cloud gaming, yeah,
Game
exactly.
Pass, even better,
exactly.
Like you get Game Pass on the Switch. Wouldn't that be a showstopper? Wow! Be like, hey, Sony, look what we've got. Fuck you.
But no, I think like that in itself kind of highlights that. You know, that what we'll just talk about, that confidence factor is, you know, going in with a plan, so to speak, breeds confidence. So people go, oh, okay, so if they get that and they're going to do that, well, okay, I've got that. I don't need to buy that. You know, it kind of makes people think. English.
It's just right. Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of stories about Nintendo's internet infrastructure, especially when it comes to multiplayer games. It is quite bad.
It leaves a lot to be desired. But that's what poses the question: is with that 10-year thing, would that be Microsoft going in with them and actually fixing that out? Because let's be honest,
I mean, they
Xbox,
could
Microsoft,
assist
they've
in that.
been doing it for a long time. Could they assist in making that better?
I mean, it's very possible. Like, there's no reason why they wouldn't do that. I mean, Microsoft is very good at infrastructure. Like, they are,
Mm.
they do know what they're doing. So it's yeah, I don't. It's possible.
It just poses more
Really.
questions, though.
Uh,
Uh, well, no, I don't think it would. In like Survivor Leaks just asked, said the more worrying thing would be, will the Switch's lack of hardware cause COD to be less stellar everywhere else? I don't think it would, because you look back a generation ago and they were supporting multiple ranges of console. So I don't think it would affect the PlayStation, Xbox, PC stuff, but maybe the Switch's hardware wouldn't allow it to be at the same
it's not going to be at the
kind of
same
level.
level,
So the
obviously.
Switch would be probably downscaled a little bit.
Like, obviously, graphically, it's going to look more potato-ish.
Yeah,
But
it'll look a
that's
little more
just
plasticky, I think.
because of the hardware.
Yeah. I don't think
I
it
mean,
would be a detriment to other consoles, though.
Unless cloud gaming, where you will get like, fully rendered everything. You just have
Well, I mean,
like
they
a
do have the
very,
OLED
very
screen now
minor
as
delay.
well, but that OLED screen's only in mobile mode. So if the console's docked, you've got the option to go to an Ethernet, Ethernet cable, which would eliminate some of that, because then you would still just process through to a screen, which I don't know. I think, if anything, I think the Switch would be dialed down a little bit, not the other consoles being affected so much.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I couldn't see it being
I
like,
guess the
oh well,
thing would be to
now
find a game
the
that's
game's been
on.
developed for Switch. That's the baseline now. Like, no, that'd be silly.
I think what we'd have to try and do is might do that in the off season. Might try and figure out a game that's across Switch, Xbox, and PC, and try and do a side by side comparison. Because we've got a Switch, you've got the Xbox,
so
and we got the PC as well. We could do that.
Probably the best example would be Fortnite right now, to be honest.
Oh yeah, Fortnite and Rocket League. Yeah.
Because,
Fortnite for sure, because of the graphics because they've got an Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, Fortnite is now using the latest Unreal Engine, which is 5.1, and like, graphically, wow, like, that shit is just gorgeous to look at. Hate the game, gorgeous to look at it.
Hate
like,
the game,
but it shows off the potential of like the nanite technology, like illumination.
Yeah, maybe that's something we'll do in the
shadow
off
maps
season.
and all
We'll get a
that
side by side comparison.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple out there already. But I did see one that was PC, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S. No, sorry, it's PlayStation 5, Series X, and Series S. And PS5 and Series X obviously looked identical, same hardware. Don't at me. Then the Series S, obviously, it fueled the Series S is a potato, because there is, like, how you get that rendering radius around your player. It's very visible that it's only a couple of meters in front of the player. So like, there were rocks and that, like, extra detail popping in very close to the player. So but mind you, that was the only thing that was pointed out. Other than that, looks absolutely adorable. But I would say it would be the same on the Switch. It would be more in line with the Series S kind of thing. You are going to have. I mean, technically there shouldn't be pop-in because of the way the nanites works, because it's supposed to be able to sort of render polygons differently, so there is no pop-in. But I mean, it's very early days.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just
This
looking
is the
online
thing.
now to see.
It's still very early days in the Unreal Engine. They've only just added foliage to Unreal Engine, like the way foliage works. So instead of having, say, like further away you are, you have like you get your lower res trees, and then you get your 2D tree, right? All the way off this. Unreal Engine 5.1 adds the ability to fully textured trees regardless of where they are. So we've only just gone in, like, and the problem that was being showcased in the video that I saw was technically foliage. So, it's only just being implemented. Obviously, there's going to be bug fixes and stuff coming along. It's not perfect. So I think, give it time, those issues will resolve themselves. I think everyone's just being too nitpicky right now. When it comes to, oh, that's crap, I don't like it. It's the whole game thing, play a game for the first time and it's like, oh, this is garbage. Oh, yeah, but we wanted it early. That sort of shit.
Don't you love it when you're watching a show and then you like yell at the screen like, oh yeah, like you're right there. See Paco's comment. This conversation is right about led me to remembering something like, oh yeah, Alice.
I can tell you now that they will not do a Switch U.
No.
Right. The
maybe
Wii
a Switch
U,
me, but not a Switch U.
Yeah, the Wii U was a fucking disaster, and Nintendo have admitted to that. Like they've admitted.
The Switch up.
A new revised version of the Nintendo Switch, with newer hardware, yada yada yada. Yeah, that's on the cards at some point. There's no.
I had heard rumors it was like the Switch Pro or something.
Yeah, that's been floating around for a while, but there's no definitive. This is happening.
No, they haven't.
It's
they
on
haven't
the cards,
but yeah,
like they're not saying that it's not happening. They're not saying that it is happening.
It's happening. Yeah, it's like
it's
Nintendo have always been good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, always. But that's probably the best game to have like some sort of comparison on. I mean, like Rocket League's not really an example because League is it's sort of like the CS:GO of gaming. Any hardware can run it basically. So there's no comparison. That's why they don't use Rocket League for like gaming benchmarks, because
there's just not much in it. Well, if Nintendo is watching, I've got a couple of suggestions in chat of the next Switch. Paco's given us a Turbo Mega Switch 3000, and I like the memory leaks of the Switch 64. I like the Switch 64 idea. That brings back memories of the old Nintendo 64. So I kind of like that one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Look, Nintendo will do their own thing. They always have. They always will. They'll do it in their own time, on their own terms. There is
as they always have.
No,
but they can
way
still survive for 25 years without making a single sale, mind you. So they've got a lot of time to work on it.
Oh, they don't have to do anything, and they still like dominate their market.
No, exactly.
I mean, Switch 64. No, the whole number
needs to have
thing,
the awkward, unnecessary controller stick out of the middle.
The only reason why it was called the Nintendo 64 because it had a 64-bit chip in it.
Yeah, that was
it. That's the only reason why it was called the Nintendo.
All right, so it'll be Switch 128 then. All right, is that better? Or a Switch 256? How's that?
Oh God. Nintendo Switch Pro. That's fine. I can handle that.
You're boring.
Not that they're going to. They'll come up with a whole new name. No, I don't think they will. Like, I don't know. It'll probably
maybe they'll call it the Stitch Up, not the Switch Up. They'll call it the Stitch Up.
I mean, because they're well and truly into the life cycle of the Switch, and
the OLED now for sure. Yeah,
they're not slowing down. Like they are deep into that rabbit hole, and I maybe a Switch Pro, like
I think that'll be their next evolution. Be a Switch Pro. I think they might look to like a QLED or something like that, or another form of. They might keep the OLED, but maybe update the processor or something inside it. But I think Switch Pro would be its logical and its next evolution in forward thinking.
It's more the internals. That's
exactly. Yeah.
That's what they need to update. Not necessarily the screen. The OLED screen's fine. Like you don't need to change that. It's just the internals. Give it a bit more juice.
Yeah.
But one last thing I'd like to touch on that we've been talking about the last couple of days. You're never going to stop me from talking about it.
Here we go.
All right. I don't mean to be like an AMD fan. I don't. Right.
Team Red fan boy.
I'm not. But I support what they're doing. I have great faith in their products. I do. So
we've just got the secret out because we know you're going to come with an AMD shirt next season. So thank you.
It's a good point. I may just look for an AMD shirt. Might do that. Don't tempt
red
me.
Hair, full team red for the next launch.
No, I won't be that sort. But the RX 7900 series is launching in 2 days' time.
3 for us, I think.
We've already had unboxings. Unboxings are stupid. They don't really show anything apart from how big the card is, which is significantly smaller than the RTX 4080.
4090.
And
4080 or the 4090?
No, that's smaller than both. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, the
I thought it was on par with the 4080.
No,
like lengthwise, size-wise, I thought it was very close.
Lengthwise, it's close. Height-wise, huge difference. I think the 7900 XTX is 2.25 height. And the 4080 is most definitely a
3.5
something slot. So like compared to the 4090, obviously it's like, look, it's a tiny baby card. The 4090 is like a fucking boombox you hold on your shoulder back in the day. But yeah, it's looking interesting because there have been leaked benchmarks come out over the last couple of days prior to reviews dropping tomorrow. They are synthetic benchmarks, so the numbers, you can't rely on the numbers alone because a synthetic benchmark does not show real world scenarios. It's just it's synthetic. It's a fake workload. But if those numbers are to be believed, rasterization performance is going to kill the 4080. Hands down. Like, it's not even a competition when it comes to rasterization. Ray tracing, it's going to fail. Obviously, you've got, the 3rd generation RT cores on the 4080. So, it's going to be better, naturally. But ray tracing is a fucking gimmick. Yes, it looks cool, but it's implemented really badly. I mean, we don't need to have reflections on everything. We just need illumination. Like, what's the problem with good lighting illumination? Like, why do we have to go, that ground's wet for some mysterious reason? And, reflections! Like, we don't need that. Stop.
No, but
Stop doing that.
You need that ray tracing in Portal. Have you seen how good it looks now?
Right, okay. So, Portal RTX, right, I have watched it. I don't like certain things in it. right? Okay, I don't
This is
like
this is the
the
speed wind
lighting.
up here, folks.
The
Speed wind up.
general lighting of Portal RTX is good. You know, it does add a whole new atmosphere to everything. But they changed the fucking cube to have like a convex mirror in the fucking thing. Why? Like, I understand it's like it's a demo. That's all it is. Portal RTX is a demo for ray tracing. It's like, look what ray tracing can do. It does actually make the game better. It's like, ooh, look, reflections going this way and that way. I don't care. Good, good global illumination. That's the point.
We're gonna have to next season. We're gonna have to bring in the speed wind up so we can just wind you up for all show, and then you can just.
I'll just have a fucking rant set. Don't do that. No, don't wind me up before the show. That's a terrible idea. Look, it's a good thing we're not doing a show in 2 weeks' time, or otherwise I'd be like really on edge after Christmas. I just had a rant session, but anyway, ray tracing is it's gimmicky, but by the looks of it, right, you've already got the 7900 XTX, which is $200 to $300 cheaper than
the 4080.
The 4080. It's a smaller form factor. It requires less power. It doesn't use a dodgy 12-pin plus 4 brand new adapter.
And it'll fit in your basic PC.
And if the number, yeah, it'll fit in any case. It's funny, like Jay's 2 cents did a video, like when he did the unboxing, he did the obligatory. Here's a standard case, and it just went. It fits, and then got the 4080. It's like just fits, and then the 4090 is just like, no, not even gonna try. It's fucking pointless. But you know, you've already got all these positive points, and if these numbers are to be believed, AMD is going to hit that price per performance benchmark as well.
I think,
and
so. As I said you offline, I think the card itself for me is an entry card. I don't believe it's.
I don't think it's the flagship.
Complete. I don't think it's complete. I think the evolution is we're starting on a base level. They want to reach the rasterization first, and then they'll start trying to balance those other areas. If they can get this part right, it will be a game changer in the graphics card market. But the problem is they need to follow up very quickly, aka next year, with the 8000 and really push those other things. You know, the tracings
here's the thing,
and all that kind of stuff. They need to bring that to it.
I would love to agree with that, but I also think that the 7900 XTX is not the flagship model. I don't think it's their top tier. I think there will be. Yeah, no, but I think there will be like a 7950 or something. You know, that will rival or come close to the 49.
I don't think they need to do a flagship for the 79 series. I think what they need to do now is focus on the 8000 as their competitor to the 4090.
Like, I don't think we're at the 8000 stage. I think we're still a couple of years off that. But I think they've more targeted the more likely competitor, which was the 4080. It's sort of like, it's, you know, as high up as people are willing to go, but it's not as ridiculous as the 4090. You know, so it's sort of that. It's not the mid tier, but it's higher up from that, and I think that's what they've targeted for. And I honestly believe that they're going to absolutely kill it. So, and they'll just work their way down from that. You know, they'll bring out the 7800, which will rival the now 4070 Ti. No, it's going to be the fuck Nvidia. You know, but they'll work their way down. They'll dominate the lower tiers. And then, I think the biggest competition after this step will be the well, maybe the 7900 XT is actually there to dominate the 4070 Ti. Maybe that, because obviously there was a 4080 16 gig and a 4080 12 gig, and I think maybe they were aiming to knock both of those out in one foul swoop. So
maybe
that could be the thing.
Maybe it was also just development of the cards.
Anyway,
we've got to wait and see the numbers.
All the hard numbers will come out tomorrow with the reviewers. Obviously, they'll compare it to everything. We'll probably see like a couple of days in a row where we'll see different benchmarking techniques where they'll just go right. Completely overpowered system, so there's no bottlenecks. Here's the raw power of the GPU, and then here's the 7900 running with the new Ryzen 9 or something. So it uses that infinity cache, so you can like see even better numbers and all that. Like we'll see.
Yeah.
But the hard numbers come out tomorrow. I am super excited to see it. Personally, I just want to know how much the fucking card's going to be. So that's the only thing sort of holding me back at the moment. I want to know how much my hard-earned cash is going to go into this bloody card. I have a feeling it's going to be like $2,000 over here. That's my educated guess.
Very close to
conversion rates in there. Then you've got import tax, and you throw GST on top of that. You come to roughly about $2,000. So hopefully, AIBs and whatnot stick to the MSRP ish, and not just completely blow it out of the water. Although I believe there was a store in Europe that was 40% over MSRP already. So if you put tax onto it, right, so it converts to about the same price as US. So if you put tax onto that, it's essentially 20% over MSRP.
Yeah.
So
no.
There could be a placeholder price as well. I mean,
yeah, it probably would be.
That's possible because they usually do that. Any new product, they'll put a placeholder price. It's obviously extravagantly wild, just to have a price there. So it could end up lining up with the MSRP in the end. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure if you are one of the 3 to 5 people that follow me on Twitter, you will see me talk about.
We'll have more of that on the return.
On the return in the new year. Yes, absolutely. Especially if I buy one, I can actually give real world information.
He might get himself an early Christmas present. Yeah, as we said at the kick off the show, this is our last one for the year. We are taking about a month break, so we'll be back on January 8th US time.
Because the next show would have landed on Christmas Day, and I don't think anyone's going to show up for that.
I don't want to be doing it Christmas Day, so screw that. So yeah, we'll be back on the 8th of January with some more fun and shenanigans, and hopefully I might talk to Memory Leak and see if he wants to come back on and give us an update of where he's up to with his projects, because it'd be awfully cool to find that out. And also maybe try and catch Mytho at some point and find out where he's up to with the projects he's working on. There he is, Memory Leak. Yeah, if you want to we got another month, so if you want to pop on the show on the 8th of January, if you're around, and give us an update on those. Definitely
all the features
keen,
that have
or
been
if
done,
not,
and all the ones you plan on working on.
Yeah, exactly. Just some of the things you've implemented and things like that. We'll try and get a bit of an update. But yeah, outside of that, be sure to make the follows there on Twitter and YouTube as well. We're pushing for. Well, we don't really need it now, but we've got our handle.
We've got our own tag.
To have the. Be nice to have some more growth over there, and also join the Discord. Come and join the Discord. Come and join the show. Come and join the channel live on Glimish, or jump into the Discord and come and share your views and your excitement levels on certain things.
Because as much as we do like talking to each other, we'd like to talk to other people as well.
No, we'd like to hear from other people. But unfortunately, that's gonna wrap up this one and the last show for 2022. So we wish you all a safe and happy holiday season wherever you may be.
Yes.
Don't eat too much. Drink plenty. And
especially over New Year's.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will see you guys back in 2023. Be safe.
Indeed.
And we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.